So hello everybody, how are you doing? We are sitting in one of our new cars, the 7 Series that we have recently bought as a used car. It's a 745e and with a special interior, BMW individual interior and rear seat infotainment system that you can see here. And I got a lot of questions on Instagram to post and show you more footage specifically of the interior. If you want to, you can of course directly jump to the acceleration part, but if you're interested in how we decided to go for this car, please stay with me. So first of all, why have we decided to buy a 745e? I mean, usually we were looking at a 7 Series because of long distance ride comfort and long distance luxury, of course. We were looking, as everybody could imagine, at the 730D, 740D, 750Ds and said, okay, we want a comfortable and very fuel efficient car. But we found out that in the pricing perspective, the 745Es were trading for about 10,000 euros less than a comparable 730D, 740D. And I said, why, how is that possible? Because in theory, the car was more expensive. And I said, yeah, okay, probably it's because the hybrid drivetrain is not that good. And I don't know, many people don't like it. It's heavy, something like that. And I found out the specs and I realized that this all was not the case. The car is great from a technical perspective because first of all, the weight is just above 2 tons. We have the rear-wheel drive version without the long wheelbase, so the shorter wheelbase, and that means that this weighs, I think, about the same, if not even less, than a BMW X3M, despite the fact having the electric power unit and also the battery on board. And that is due to very clever technical parts from BMW. First of all, they put the electric motor more or less within the transmission, something like that. I cannot fully explain it to you, but this is a very compact and very lightweight technique that you can also shift gears for the electric motor, I believe, and not only for the petrol engine, which makes it very interesting. And you can switch between the inline-6 engine, the 3-liter inline-6 engine and the electric motor more easily. Secondly, they only have a very small battery of 11 kilowatt hours. You could say, well, you don't have the long range then, but the opposite is the case. Because of the fact that the car is so light, it is very fuel efficient and it's recuperating energy quite well on the go. So even if you only have, let's say, 40 kilometers of range once you start and have it fully charged, in the moment that you brake and do a long distance road trip, the electric range rises again. So for example, if you're doing 500 kilometers on the Autobahn, in the end you probably have about 150 kilometers of electric driving, although you just started with 40 kilometers. That is truly amazing. Usually you have a 6 point something from the petrol engine, and just adding those few kilowatt hours that you have charged in the beginning for, let's say, 2, 3, 4 euros, something like that, even makes this car, let's say, on the long distance very fuel efficient and very cost effective. And that with the fact that this car is, let's say, lower from an entering price once you buy it on the used market, it was really a bargain. It totally makes sense for us, specifically because we're not only driving 500 kilometers a day, but also a lot of, let's say, short distances around town. Second part, of course, or fourth part, I don't know if there are many parts and arguments I've already listed here, is that we of course wanted a dedicated spec. And this is the Tartufo merino leather full individual interior, which has the nice stitching here, leather all the way down to the bottom. You can see that here the carpet is in the same Tartufo color, the roof ceiling is in Tartufo suede. Yeah, you have those door handles which are from Individual. You have the leather cockpit in here, and of course you have individual seats which are individually adjustable, have massage functions even in the back, and a rear seat infotainment system. Plus, of course, also you can see it right here, the Bowers & Wilkins 3D diamond surround system, which first of all looks great once you have it at night, once the illumination and the sound system is on. But secondly, of course, sounds amazing. So a lot of arguments for this car. We're so happy that we've bought this car. The value for money is great. We have more or less paid half of the price than what the car was when it was new, and the car only had 26,000 kilometers when we bought it, and it feels more or less totally like new. So without further talking, now we are jumping to the acceleration part. Thank you that you stayed with me. We of course want to find out how fast the car goes, because from a subjective feeling it feels pretty punchy, I would say. Like a car with a lot bigger engine, something like an RS6 or whatever, with V8 and 600 horsepower, something in that direction. It feels, at least at low and mid RPMs. And of course we want to find out how good it pulls on the Autobahn from 100 to 200, and depending on the traffic today, maybe even up to 250. So we're now approaching the Autobahn to do the 100 to 200 run. I have not talked to you that the car is running on 20-inch winter tires, so the widest winter tires available. So that of course could be a bit quicker on summer tires, but nevertheless I think we will get the idea here. That's limited. So we have done a 12.25. I have to correct the time, so it's probably about the 12.5, 12.6, tiny bit of slope, which is very good, I would say. Yeah, it is 2 seconds slower than our BMW X3M, but that is still fast. I mean, you can really feel once you're doing a kickdown that you have this e-boost, and it's available up to 200 kilometers per hour or even higher. I didn't pay attention on the dash, so that is very good. And yeah, the combination of driving this car fuel efficient but also having this pull through from the low and mid RPMs is truly astonishing. I mean, if you're just mashing the throttle now, it picks up so easily with like 15% throttle and feels like a lot bigger engine.